have had a policy within our program that you can't contact your mentee outside of meeting with them at the school for safety reasons. So you can't be texting them or emailing them. If you email them, you have to use their school account because that's actually mirrored somewhere, and so there's a backup copy of that. But once we got to the COVID and having to do some things virtually, everybody kind of took their kids' cell phone number, and it's very helpful to text them to see if they're at school before they drive 30 minutes to meet them at the school. So are you allowing contact with your mentee, between your mentors and mentees via text and social media? Probably not as much, but I mean, they could, I guess. How are you handling that? In other words, help!
I'd just like to say, like, for our program, that is something that has come up, but for ours, we are very, very strict about keeping those boundaries set. So we're not at all able to allow our mentors or our mentees to have contact outside of the
public environment.
The public environment, because even though we're online, we still meet in person too. And I was like, that was something they had just asked at the last meeting too, was like, oh, can we add them, and it was our mentees that were asking that, can we add them on, Instagram or like Facebook? And I was like, oh, you want to be friends with your mentors? I was like, that's really appreciative, but to protect you and to protect our mentors, this is something we're not allowed to do. So I was like, ours is just very much strict, like we can't outside of that.
Ours is almost encouraged for outside the school. And most of them aren't texting age anyway, but our parents are, unlike Rhonda's, ours are more involved. And so it really depends on the parent if they okay with, if the kid can go do this or that. But most of them are not texting or social media age or any of that. But the ones that are, they do keep in contact with their mentors. But maybe, I don't know, it's not school involved, so maybe that's the difference.
Well, we just did it for safety reasons because we know that Rhonda doesn't want in a lawsuit.
Yeah, we do make them sign stuff.
And our program is unusual in that, our kids live independently. And so sometimes the mentors grow to take a role of someone who would be almost in a parental guardian role. And so, and I think I did mention, it is part of our training for them to keep up with them electronically. However, during training, we do say, do not add them to social media. However, the economy of homelessness sometimes means that people communicate through Snapchat, for example, because all they need maybe is Wi-Fi, but they're not having to pay for a phone plan. And so I just learned recently that a mentor was like, yeah, I've been talking to this student through Snapchat. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. But then I thought about it, and the student doesn't yet have a steady job so that they can and they're not 17. That's what makes it also tricky. Without parents, they can't go to like T-Mobile or, and get, so then we've got to talk about what a month-to-month plan looks like, and they don't always do that if they don't have a steady job, which again, we're working through. That's kind of why we have the mentoring program. How do we start to change your mindset about gainful employment or, part-time employment, et cetera. So the nature, I think, of independently living teens who are homeless makes it almost necessary for them to communicate, definitely electronically, but sometimes through social media.